Hello, here's the Cuck small group basket preview video. This is Palm Sunday. Remember, whatever happens, remember God keeps his promises. So we'll be kind of making some links between the Old Testament prophecies and the New Testament fulfillment through Jesus. The first activity here is promise pairs. So you have a stack of Old Testament cards and a stack of New Testament cards. And you want to divide your group in half. So one team is going to be New Testament, another half is going to be Old Testament. And then you want to line them up kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're facing each other. So you have New Testament, Old Testament, they're facing each other. And then they each have a card stuck on their shirt. So we'll have some masking tape in there. And you have some rope. And so you're kind of creating a web back and forth. So someone in the Old Testament is going to toss the string over to the corresponding New Testament promise or fulfillment of the Old Testament prophecy. So it's going to be a lot of back and forth between Old Testament and New Testament. Hopefully that makes sense to you. But I think that's a really neat activity for kind of a lot of biblical literacy for kids to understand prophecies and then the promises being fulfilled there. So that's the first activity. The second activity is In My Mind's Eye. So the message through Palm Sunday is going to be talking about, Jesus becoming a clearer and clearer fulfillment of God's promise, but it's not in the way that people expected at that time. So have some clipboards, a bunch of scrap paper, pair kids up, and then one kid may say to another, draw a picture of a playground. And as they're describing that, their partner is the one drawing it. And then at the end, they're going to reveal what they drew versus what the other kid described. And kind of the talking point on this is the people in our story today were waiting for a king for a very long time. They had a picture in their minds of what they thought their king would be like, what he would look like, what he would do. When Jesus came, he wasn't necessarily what they had imagined. So it's just kind of teaching the kids that our expectations aren't always what God delivers, but what God does deliver is something that we can trust in and that we can have hope in. Last activity is a reflection prayer activity. We've got some artificial palms that we'll be passing out to your group. So it's kind of a responsive prayer activity here. And as you're going through the different lines, you can encourage the kids to kind of wave their palms and encourage them to have some fun with it and, maybe dance and, swoop the palm up and down or in a figure 8 pattern, something like that. So 3 simple activities. One other point worth mentioning is that since it is Kiddie Campus Sunday, the Kiddie Campus kids are going to be in the classrooms in the hallway there. So we're going to have to go back to our old days of having small groups spread out throughout the assembly. So we'll just hope for the best, but it is going to be a different Sunday. So consider yourself warned. Thanks for serving. We'll see you on Sunday.